Today, we're taking a humble picnic roast and turning it into thick-cut pork steaks that scream Texas barbecue. Smoky, tender, and glazed with a mop sauce that has so much flavor you won't know what hit you. Let's get after it. So right now it's Saturday night, the night before the cook. We're gonna plan on cooking these up tomorrow, but we've got a little bit of prep work to do here the night before. We've got a couple of pork picnic roasts. Really, any kind of pork roast will do. We're just gonna slice steaks out of these. I've done this with pork butts before, but that bone gets kind of tricky, and I don't have a bone saw. So I chose the boneless option with these picnic roasts. It's really simple to prepare. Virtually no trimming. We're just gonna grab our knife and slice this into steaks. So this is really simple. We're not gonna make it too complicated. There's kind of a lengthwise and a widthwise. And all that we're gonna do is take it just like this, and we're gonna slice these into steaks about 1.5 to 2 inches thick. Easy as that. Now, we're just gonna lay these steaks out on the cutting board. And we're just gonna hit all these steaks hard with some 16 mesh black pepper and diamond crystal kosher salt in a 1-to-1 ratio by volume. We wanna make sure we cover every single side here. And that looks just about perfect to me. We're just gonna get all the sides here with all the stuff that fell off in the initial seasoning. Just a little dusting. We don't want to overdo it. Next, these are gonna go on a wire rack to dry brine in the fridge overnight. Dry brining is key here to maximize flavor. Overnight, this salt is gonna pull out a bunch of moisture inside that meat, which is then gonna dissolve all the salt on the outside and create a brine. And then that salty brine is gonna slowly absorb back into the center of that meat, which is gonna enhance the flavor of the steaks all the way to the center. While it dry brines, that black pepper is really gonna adhere to the outside of these steaks, and the outside's gonna dry a little bit, which will give these steaks a killer crust. In crust we trust. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right guys, so after dry brining overnight, we need to go ahead and get our smoker going. Now this is interesting because we're not actually gonna be smoking anything inside of our cook chamber. We're actually gonna be using the Firebox. Now this isn't exactly grilling because we're not searing over high heat, nor is it slow smoking. It's kind of somewhere in between. You could do this on a Weber or really any other charcoal grill as long as you can provide direct heat. And I've got this new lump charcoal here that I'm super excited to try. So we're gonna go ahead and dump it in and get it lit. Next, we'll go on with some small splits of post oak and get everything burned down into coals. I've got a grate that we're gonna toss on and let that heat up as well. We're shooting for 200 to 225 right at grate level. This video is brought to you by our sponsor, Woodchuck Firewood. Woodchuck has all kinds of different wood. They're based out of Valley Center, Kansas, but they ship their wood all over the country. If you're on the lookout for wood splits that you need for your barbecue, your fire pit, or your fireplace, Woodchuck Firewood is your one-stop shop. Type in the link below into your browser to access their website and place an order, and use discount code 10OFF at checkout to receive 10% off your order. And Woodchuck Firewood will take good care of you. So now that we've burned all this down to coals, it's time to get our meat on. I'm gonna go in with our ThermoPro TP980 Temp Spike Pro leave-in probe thermometers. Let's talk precision. These pork steaks are thick cut, boneless, and full of attitude. You can't guess your way to tender. And that's why I trust the ThermoPro TP980 Temp Spike Pro. This thing's wireless, dual sensor smart. You get internal and ambient temperatures at the same time, in real time, straight to your phone. No lifting the lid, no breaking the bark, just pure control. I'm especially gonna rely pretty heavily on the ambient temp here, as I want these steaks to remain at about 200 to 225 the whole time. And this is gonna help me ensure that I remain there. In range, you can mow the lawn while these steaks cook. 500 feet of Bluetooth freedom. There's also Wi-Fi capability so you can keep track of your cook no matter where you're at on the planet. Plus, it's rechargeable, accurate within a single degree, and built like a pitmaster's lightsaber. When I hit 190 degrees Fahrenheit, I know it's steak time. Not pulled pork, not dry. Perfectly juicy, ready to slice in. Do you want one? Click on the link I've shared in the description below and type in code FIREFERMENT980 at checkout for a 10% discount off of the 4-probe model. I've got a separate link below for the 2-probe model, and for that one, you can use code 2probe10 to get $10 off. Grab the Temp Spike Pro and cook like you mean it. All right, so now that these are cooking away, we gotta throw together a mop sauce. This is an absolute classic and a game changer for pork steaks. We're gonna mop this onto the steaks as they cook, building tons of flavor. It's gonna be so good, guys. Let's get a saucepan and throw in 1 stick of butter, cook this down. And we'll throw in 1 whole yellow onion, diced. Along with 6 cloves of garlic that have been smashed and peeled. And we're gonna cook those until everything softens up and glistens. Next, we'll add 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, a half of a cup of yellow mustard, 1 tablespoon of 16 mesh black pepper, as well as 1 tablespoon of Diamond Crystal kosher salt. We'll use a couple tablespoons of hot sauce. I'm using my homemade sriracha sauce. Check out that video next. And 1 tablespoon of brown sugar for sweetness. This mop sauce is tangy, punchy, slightly sweet and spicy, and unapologetic. Wow guys, you just really gotta be here to get a whiff of this smell. So we've maintained our temps between 200 and 225 and it's been on an hour, so we'll check in and see how these are coming along. At the hour mark, we flip these steaks to start cooking the other side. These steaks are starting to get pretty good color and building up some smoke flavor and a good crust on the outside. We're going to want that crust to slowly dry out and brown up for peak Maillard flavor. Again, we're not quickly searing the outside like we would over really high temps on a grill. Nice and slow is the way to go here. You can see how the fat is starting to render out a bit, and that fat will start hitting these coals, which will then cause the fire to flame up and that extra flavor to kiss the meat, building even more layers of flavor. We can start putting our mop down now. Similar to the fat rendering, that mop will drip down, hit the coals, which will cause even more of those coals to flame up and just add layer after layer of flavor. So this technique is all the good parts of low and slow, grilling, smoking, and basting all wrapped up into one. When that mop drips down onto those coals, you get some incredible smells. Don't be surprised if your neighbors start peeking their heads over at this point to see what you're cooking up. We'll want to keep mopping every 15 to 20 minutes and continue to maintain that fire so we stay at 200 to 225 right at grate level. We're just using small splits of wood here as we don't want any bigger splits to ignite and cause our temps to spike. This is my favorite part in the cook where I can kick back, relax, and enjoy the beautiful day.
We can see here how that color is really coming along. The darker we can get that crust, the more flavor develops.
All right, so now we've hit an hour on the other side. We're gonna hit this side with mop one last time and then flip them over back to the other side, and then start hitting the other side every 15 to 20 minutes with mop. And we're still gonna keep our ambient temperature about 200 to 225.
That fat, smoke, and mop are all working together to glaze and crisp up the outside so we can build layers of flavor. Once we hit about 170 internal temp, I like to crank up the fire so that we can finish these off and really get a nice seared crust. I'm keeping a close eye on the internal temp here. We're just going to keep this process up until we hit 190 degrees internal. This whole cooking process takes about 4 hours. Once we're at 190 internal, time to take these off and bring them in.
So we took these off about 190 internal. Typically, when you're doing like a pork butt for pulled pork, you'll take it further, like above 200 degrees, which allows that pork to shred up. We're not trying to shred or pull this meat. We want the steaks to act like steaks. We want to be able to slice through them and bite into them so that they keep their form. So that's why we pulled them about 190. So now, these have sat on the counter for about 20 minutes or so and have gotten down to their final serving temp of about 140 degrees. Easy as that. Now all that's left to do is slice in. Just look at that cross section. Juicy, smoky, glistening with mop. It's definitely got that Texas twang. Now, I can get behind that. It's so juicy and smoky, super pork flavor, tangy, a bit of spice and sweetness. This is a great way to cook up a pork roast. It's definitely not pulled pork, but I'll tell you, it's not lacking in flavor or texture, that's for sure. If this cook got your pit fired up, subscribe and stick around for more. More primal meat magic coming your way.
That is how we make Texas-style pork steaks at Fire and Ferment. If you like this type of content and you want to see more of it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click on that little bell icon so you don't miss any new content. I love you guys, and stick around.